Friday night. We're in Albert Schloss. We are in conjunction with the good people at Erdinger, Kev Walsh, Cam Rimmer, Damian Kavanagh. Everyone having a fabulous time because all of a sudden, Damian, it's become a fabulous time. It's mad what a difference a couple of months makes. It's even mad in a way what a difference a couple of games make. You just now feel in the I'm listening because all prove us wrong Sunday, but you feel in the comfortable embrace of a really good functioning Liverpool Football Club all of a sudden. You're looking forward to every game.
Yeah, every half. It's like, what was all the fuss about in the summer? What was it? Do you know what I mean? The people's heads had fell off. It was the end of an era. The coach had ran out of ideas. The board had sold the club down the river. You know, the ground's now not going to get extended.
This is the goodest interview you're doing here, soft lad.
You know what I mean? It's one of them, isn't it? You know, when you just look at it and absolutely wonderful. It's just a reflection of the guy at the top. I think it's a reflection of Jürgen who can tap into it and an energetic crowd. And of course, we were all a bit downtrodden, weren't we, after what has happened and whatever have you. But the way that we approach the game, the way that we want to win, the way that we want to attack, the options that we've got up front, playing to your strengths, trusting guys who might not get trusted elsewhere. And at the moment, this is just a dream. And I've said it before, watching Liverpool, the perfect Liverpool, the greatest team we've ever had, which by definition then means the greatest team that there ever was, right, was perfect. And it did everything, the tactically was set up, the players were interlinked and whatever. Now, that's very unusual. So can you embrace imperfection and can you make it work and you can make it exciting? And that's absolutely happening at the moment. So would we still buy a number? As the weeks go by, would you still buy a number 6? Yeah. We don't really need one because the ball's always in their half. Do you know what I mean? So we can, so it's just wonderful and you should always embrace it. You're supposed to enjoy going to the match.
Yeah. No, I'm all over this at the minute. Yeah.
And
it's meant to be. So there's so much serious shit in the world at the minute. Yeah. Go in the match. It's trivial, but it should be the best trivial thing you get to do. And I keep saying this to everyone. And that's the way I felt all the way through the game on Thursday. I just felt like I'm just loving every minute of this. This is a pleasure. You know what I mean? It's so enjoyable. And that's what you need, isn't it? It's what you want.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the coverage of the Toulouse fans, extremely boisterous at Central Station. And I was like, it's right, because that'd be us. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So there's the first thing, so respect to them for that. And then, I don't mind admitting, I'm a bit crestfallen that Liverpool aren't in the big cup, because that means everything to us, and that means that we've fell short and whatever. So, but you've got to go through the games, and you've got to do the cold nights against the less attractive opposition, who it's their big nights, but it's not necessarily yours. And we're still going with a spring in your step, because this team's going to entertain, and it's got to the stage where, okay, if this was the World Cup final tomorrow and Liverpool were in it, there's a number of players here who would be nowhere near even the bench, never mind starting, and you're looking forward to seeing them. Not just to see what this young fella can do, it's like, what's this extra squad player can do. It's just all the different options that we've got, and it kind of doesn't matter which options are sprinkled onto the table. It's just a delight to watch in various levels, and so we're picking our teams for the opposition that we're getting, and they're all getting knocked over. Carry on.
They're all getting knocked over. Let's talk about someone who should be knocked over, Cam. I'm just going to keep going on about it all the way through this season, I think. What the fucking hell were Bayern Munich thinking? What was going through Bayern Munich's head? Because Gravenberch there against Toulouse, and I think, like in every other game, he begins to run out of a bit of steam in both halves. Because he's just not playing much football. You know why? Because those fucking bellends at Bayern Munich stop picking him. That's why he runs out of steam. He's so special, you can see why the manager was completely committed to him. He's such a special player.
Yeah, it's mad to be honest, because he does so many different things on the pitch. You can't really think of, it's a bit like Szoboszlai at the start of the season. You look at him and you're like, you can't really pick a player that he's just so unique. He's been unbelievable, and like we were saying off air then, like what we're buying thinking, it could end up being the steal of the season, and we've already had a steal in Szoboszlai and now we've got him. It's just, it's limitless with him, to be honest. And this is just...
The manager says you've only seen half of what he's got. And I'm like, you must be kidding me, Jürgen.
What we like every single time we get a new signing in, and we always say in the first few games, they always look goosed. But he looks goosed, he's bringing 10 out of 10 performances. So what's he going to be like when he starts doing in training as well? It's exciting.
It's a big old... The one thing I think on the he does tire thing, Cam, is... The surprise to me is, it's a big old frame. He's 6'3" and there's a lot of muscle on there.
Neil loves a big fella.
I love a big fella.
There's a lot. Loves a big fella.
But there's a lot of them to get around the pitch. That's why it will take a bit of time to get his fitness up, because my God, it's a big old unit to drag around the footy pitch.
Well, how quick he is on his feet as well.
I know.
It's just unbelievable.
You don't have to tell me, he's got very quick feet for a big man. Very quick feet for a big man.
But yeah, it's for me, it was in the derby, it was like his first, right, there's a player here, and then last night kind of confirmed it. And now you just want to look forward to Sunday, You just want to go into that, see him again, and just, well, see the rest of them as well, but him in particular.
It's with it, Kev, with the way in which it goes last night, 5-1. Listen, we know they're 10th in France. So, you know, no one's trying to act like they're any great shakes. And also, you know, they could have got in a couple of times. Trent blocks the one on the line, all that sort of stuff. But part of why I love this team, as Damian said before, it's embracing these imperfections. I'm enjoying the fact that we're not finished. The big man is only half of what he's going to go on to be elsewhere in this team. They're only a bit of the way through what they're going to become. And being back, genuinely, I can't believe how quickly I feel back on the best bit of a journey. Not the horrible bit at the start when it takes a bit of getting going. I feel like, no, we're on the good bit now of the journey where they're not always going to be perfect, but my God, they're going to be so much fun.
It's funny, isn't it? Because we're saying about embracing the imperfections. We're talking about a second string in the UEFA Cup. Fucking some second string that, by the way. I've seen a lot worse second strings play for Liverpool, and it was a lot harder to embrace their imperfections. You know what I mean? It's all well and good embracing Ryan Gravenberch, just one misplaced pass this season. You know what I mean? All right, Ryan, I'll let you off with that one, son, but I don't want to see it happen again. Do you know what I mean? When you're watching Christian Pulisic and Paul Konchesky like blobbling around the pitch.
Shut it then.
Exactly.
They were first choice.
But to be fair, they were. But then you can embrace like the young kid coming in Chambers, and he had not a tough night, but listen, he's a young kid playing left back in a European competition. Not going to go all his own way. Unbelievable experience for him, so you get to see that. But it's the fact that you can take half the team out, replace it with players, and go, actually, he could start on Saturday. And it runs right through the squad. And listen, I was moaning more than most people, to be fair, for more signings, and I still think we do need a number 6. Again, that was great last night, absolutely fantastic. But I think that's one of the best things about where we're currently at. I'm looking at that squad going, fucking hell, mate, it's sort of crept up on you how good that is. But also, there's probably 2 relatively easy additions to me that raise it to another level. And if we're buzzing at this level, imagine what we'll be like if we get a monster of a number 6 in and maybe an unbelievable left-sided centre-half. Before you know it, you're going, fucking hell, mate. We'll win the World Cup, the fucking World Series, we'll win fucking Eurovision if we go anymore.
But you know what though, this like mood, it reminds me of 2 years ago when we faced the quadruple season, where you're in all these competitions at the start, and at the start of that Champions League season, we were playing not like the full, like, you know, we were rotating a lot, and it's got that good vibe again back, hasn't it, of our second team could really go up against a lot of good teams. And that whole thing of, you know, it was Europa League last night, it's the League Cup next week, back in the Europa League. It's just, we're going full pelt again.
The idea of, you just said there, you know, we could win Eurovision. I think this is what the manager knows, is there's nowhere else, and I do believe this. I think there's loads of things we think, this is a Liverpool thing and it's not anywhere else. Like, for instance, we're really welcoming to good young players. Now, every club wants good young players. But I think there's a Liverpool thing of, you show us a reason to think we can win everything, and we will act like we can win everything. Yeah. We will go from here to there. And I think the manager knows it. And I think it's in the manager's demeanour at the minute, Kev. The manager's demeanour is, all these think we're great. Imagine how good I think we are. And I think he gets that in a really profound way.
I get it. He does get it, but I think he's as energised as anybody else by this new chain of events. It must have been like, because I reckon he's looked at Henderson and on the decline, and he's so loyal, and he's given them a new contract, and he wants it to work for him. And listen, I don't think it was Jürgen's problems with the transfer scenario we got ourselves into. I think it was a club thing. But he probably was all more thinking to himself, I'm okay with it because I love Jordan. But then when his hand's been forced and Henderson's gone and Fabinho's gone, it's sort of like, he's gone, well, got to go again here, haven't I? And then he's bought in Szoboszlai, and he's like, oh my God. And then he's bought in McAllister, and he's like, oh my God. Like the Vince McMahon meme, innit, where he's like that by the end of it, giving it one of them, because he gets Gravenberch on the last day of the season. If he brings in another one in January, before you know it, he'll be on the cot with us singing, do you know what I mean? Seen him after the derby the other day, saluted the 3 sides of the ground. And it's not just because he hates Everton, and he does hate Everton, we know that, but it's because he's thinking, how good's this? Like, how exciting is this? How brilliant were they then? And now he's even letting us sing a song. Obviously, we can't sing it during the game. We've got to sing it afterwards.
Got to be rules and regs.
Yeah, we can't let ourselves get too carried away before November. But it's all on a big, lovely roll. Isn't it?
I haven't disagreed with Jürgen on many things, but not being able to sing a song, I vehemently disagree. It's up to us, actually.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But the parallels here, it's not the same. It's not even remotely the same, but it's the modern day version of the Shagley thing. where he's almost a bit too loyal to some of the lads who he's been through everything with, and Shankly kind of let that carry on a bit. So someone in the club goes, listen, this is our gig, this isn't yours. He's going. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of like a good thing, isn't it? That one man has not got everything under control because no one's got it. But he's just got that thing of, not only is he a genius and a football manager and a master motivator, he completely taps into the crowd. And it's like,
He taps into the city. The
yeah,
city
yeah,
as the
totally
crowd.
that, totally. And this is what Liverpool's such a manager's club, but I think when he's landed here, and of course with them praising ourselves, he said, well, it will never sound good. But he must have got here and just gone, I have worked all my life for a crowd like this. This is what I'm about. And if I win it once with them, it's worth 10 more than if it being bought somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? And that whole thing, and so the biggest challenge for him professionally is he scales all the heights and does everything. And people are out there thinking, well, maybe it's the Germany job next door. No. It's to go again and win it again against overwhelming odds with a deck stacked against me. Guess what? Let me back in the room, I'm going to do it again. And it feels like that.
Do you know what, though? I think that's a very organic... Well, I think it's a very organic thing, though, because I think you'd have asked him 12 months, 18 months ago, he'd have seen an end game in sight, do you know what I mean? And I think it's very much transient that he's gone, oh, this is hard work. He's not as young as he once was. He's still like full of life, full of vibrancy. But I reckon it's so much easier to make them decisions when you're looking around and seeing McAllister, seeing Szoboszlai, seeing Nunez. Like, Nunez had them up the wall last year. You could see he was literally wanting to strangle him while he was on the pitch. But now, he must have... Imagine how hard he's worked with him. He doesn't want anyone else taking Nunez on and getting all of the...
Post-match yesterday, it's dead inside. He couldn't praise Nunez more post-match yesterday because someone brings the miss up to him and he says, forget the miss, it's brilliant football before then. And all the way through the game, he did this for me and this for me and this for me. He's incredible. And Kev, I think he loves him. I think he's now at the point with him where he thinks this fella is such a way home for us. Because you can't deal with them. Second half there last night, they were all but turning around and going, who's meant to be looking after this? Because there's so much of it to deal with.
Can't be my job, this, surely.
When he jogs back one way, nearly loses it and then turns the other way. And he wins it when he jogs back, by the way, and then surges back up the other end. It's almost like a cartoon character. He's that good.
He's amazing. I absolutely love him. And we've still got a couple in our group who still shite him, you know what I mean? Because they've cemented the positions in and they're unwilling now to admit that they were wrong. So it's hard.
You can have great fun with that though, can't you?
It is fun because he hits the post and they're like, I told you. But then everyone else was going, shut up, dickhead. He knew exactly where Gravenberch was. He passed it off the post to him. But he's that type of player where I think at first he was polarising 50-50. Now it's 90-10 because how can you not love him? I know Stu Wright was a bit like, oh, he didn't. I think me and you had a discussion with Stu Wright on a show last year. And he was like, I'm not really seeing it. And I just thought you could see he had all of the raw materials, but raw was the word. And I think Jürgen has spent that time. And imagine how focused and intense that must have been. And that's just another thing to make Jürgen go, if I can do that with him, imagine how good I can make him in 4 years' time with the addition of other players moulded around him. That's got to be something that makes you go, if you think to yourself in 4 years' time we might be good, it's a lot easier to say I'm going to walk away than if you think in 4 years' time we'll be unbelievable. Because you're not walking away then, are you?
I think with Nunez it's going to be, when it comes to the end of the season, the height of success will be measured on how, if he explodes or not. I think last season there was always a bit of that thing of the jury was out on him. He needs that moment. I was convinced that shot in the derby, that Pickford made the brilliant save, if that goes in, he's flying for the season. He needs that big moment. He had it at Newcastle. That Newcastle one, that was when everyone was like, right, I'm on board with him now. And it's going to... Well, that does sum him up last night, doesn't it? He gets the assist by taking it around the keeper and hitting the post.
There's never been a more Nunez game.
But he's also scored.
Yeah, it's a boss finish right into the roof of the net, the only place he could go. Listen, it's a boss performance, as you say. He's running back, chasing players down. Imagine being in the midfielder going, I thought I just passed you onto the centre half and I'm trying to attack and you won't leave me alone. He must be a nightmare to play against. And as you said, he must be boss to play with.
I'd put him in on Sunday. Defo. You've got straight in, and because like after that the other night, everyone's still like fully behind him to get him back on the pitch now because he'll be rallied up. He's not coming off that pitch thinking, oh, he's thinking, right, that's it, let's go for him. I'd put him right in.
What's dead interesting, I had a little look today. First season under Klopp, Lewandowski gets 9 in 40 appearances, not starts, but 40 appearances, he gets 9. I had a little look at Firmino, where he comes in Klopp's partial season. Year after, he gets about 15-16 all comps, which we think's around Firmino numbers. 17-18, he gets 28. all comps, playing for Liverpool. And I'm looking at Nunez now. He's had 1 year with the gaffer, and this year too just looks like it could just explode and go to any figure.
It does. I mean, I think this time last season, people who were saying that were justified, but a bit optimistic. And that's, you know, I'm dead reasonable, and you know, but I think it's extremely realistic now to look at that. To see, you're looking at the developments. I mean, I don't know, maybe they should move Robbie Fowler in with them or something. Say, get in the garden, right? I'm going to show you how to just clip it in. You don't have to smash everything in.
Some trouble
Well,
to
that's why.
I'm thinking Gaza, Paul Mason vibes there.
Yeah. But he's just got so much, and you can see that trajectory, and it's developing in front of your eyes. I mean, you know, even the pass for the second goal in the derby, that wasn't in his locker a year ago. You know what I mean? He'd just smashed it into the corner flag a year ago. Or put it in the bottom corner, to be fair. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. Because it goes either way. And he's been unfortunate by the fact that Liverpool's one of the two greatest teams in the world, playing directly in opposition with the other greatest team in the world. And they've got more money than us, and you can get Haaland, who's an absolute machine. I've got loads of respect for him in every way, doing the job, and you're getting compared like this. Well, that's not the same journey. You've got the finished article here, and that is the perfect centre forward is Haaland. But you've got this player who can actually like do things beyond that and excite you more. And you know, going back to you're supposed to enjoy it. The one thing he isn't robotic. He is not.
He's very much organic.
Yeah, and so it's one of those. It's a bit primal, isn't it? Where it's sort of like when he scores a boss goal, it's going to feel even better. It's going to look even more of a thing, you know what I mean? You know, it gets you out of your seat. It has you jumping up and down in a way that you wouldn't have done if you. Rush goes through, it's in. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that. It's like wild when he scores, isn't it? You know, because you're not quite sure if it will, and then if it does, so he's got so much in front of him, and it's so exciting at this juncture for us. In the fact that I'm absolutely all in for them starting on Sunday, and all in if he goes sub, because of the options we've got. And the fact that we've got a squad that we can manage to go the distance in a lot of trophies, and that's very difficult to do. But that's what we've got, and he's full front and central as part of that. But so's his other four mates up front with him.
Absolutely. More on what we will or won't do on Sunday in a second. We're with Erdinger, we're in Albert Schloss, Damian Kavanagh, Cam Rimmer, smooth operator Kev Walsh, back in a second.
Bayern Munich must have some midfield.
So I went to bed last night and couldn't sleep out of Liverpool-based excitement and show-based excitement. So I actually looked at who Bayern Munich have been picking because I just want to know what have they been up to. I'm just amazed though you couldn't have found a place. What you're seeing from Gravenberch is just so, you know, it's so exciting, but also it just speaks of so much potential. If I say there isn't a weakness, that's not to say the performances have been perfect, far from it. If anything, you know, there's a bit of a weakness around the fact that he still looks to me like he tires in halves a little bit, like he loses his energy levels, sort of dip, and he has a year where he doesn't play that much, and it's a big frame to get around the pitch and keep moving in that way. So he's not a perfect footballer by any stretch of the imagination, but he's so much fun. He's so much fun.
I've been giving Bayern Munich the benefit of the doubt up to this stage, like, because, you know, all football teams are set up different, so managers want different things from them, and especially from midfield. And Jurgen Klopp is quite particular about what he wants from a midfielder, and that might have changed over the years, but, you know, he knows what he wants from a midfield in the team, what he's trying to do, you know, at that time. So I was thinking, well, maybe he just really suits Jurgen Klopp, this team, and what we're doing. And then he puts in that performance last night, and I'm furious with the picks. I'm almost like, you know, football clubs have got into doing statements. I feel like Bayern Munich should do one.
He just looks like he is A, so much fun, and B, he is having so much fun. Yeah. And it's lovely to see. It really is. Like he's like a lamb filled with serotonin leaping across the pitch at times. It's glorious, and he's clearly such an excellent footballer. There was a little thing that came out that the manager not the summer just gone, the summer before, wanted Bellingham, Tchouaméni or Gravenberch.
Yeah, he said they're 3 game changers. He apparently described them as.
We've had to wait a year to get one of the 3 game changers, and you can see now and then the manager's bouncing into interviews saying you've only seen half of what he can do, and you're like, well, I can't quite imagine then what it is that he's going to be doing. But you know, there's so many of them are so exciting, but he's just, you know, looks so exciting, and I can't wait to see more of him.
And Erdinger, please. Don't forget the best bit.
welcome back. Let's get over, let's talk about Forest. Cam, Nunez or not Nunez. I basically think you can name 8 at the starting 11. Alisson, Trent, Virgil, Konate, then McAllister, Szoboszlai, Diaz and Salah, given who plays and doesn't play in that one and the way in which it goes. Then that all feels pretty secure that that's 8 of the 11. Who do you think's the other 3? Left back, midfield, and who's playing up front?
I'll start with the more obvious one up front, Nunez, purely because these Sunday games, you just need to go and just get the crowd going straight away. Like Villa at home's the benchmark, really.
Some performance that, by the way, wasn't it?
And it's looking better by the weeks as well, by the way.
Brilliant performance.
But that's a benchmark that get them in early, and the whole crowd, Nunez can put out a play, and everyone still shouts Nunez, don't they? So I'd put him in. And after last night, definitely start him. The other one, who were the 2 you said the shoe on from midfield?
Left back. So there's McAllister and Szoboszlai.
Gravenberch.
Gravenberch.
100%.
Endo, maybe you're thinking.
You might do Endo. I mean, you can make a case around. Jones is still out. You can make a case that, for instance, Elliott's playing well. I think it almost certainly will be Gravenberch, but he might do Elliott as a screen on the big man up front.
By the way, Elliott the last 2 games has been unbelievable.
That's what I mean.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah. But then with left back, I think this is one of the games where you could get away with putting Gomez there, maybe. I think Tsimikas, I don't know, it's just with me sometimes it's just a bit. Or again, it could be you flip it and you say, could this be the game you can put Tsimikas in for? Because last week he looks a bit shaky, might need them few games to come in for. Not too sure on the left back, but midfield, Gravenberch and then Nunez for me up front, yeah.
What do you think, Shane?
I think it will be Tsimikas. I don't want to slate him because he's not bad, do you know what I mean? He just isn't the level. I just don't think, and listen, I hope he proves me wrong and he becomes the level, but I don't know. I think I'd be tempted by Chambers, I think, just so it's not Tsimikas.
Do you not think Gomez?
At left back though, I suppose if you do that, you're effectively playing 3-1, aren't you? And Trent becomes the hybrid, but really, he just becomes a quarterback in the middle. Listen, I could see that. And the thing against them is, you probably are going to have 70% possession, something along them lines. The problem with that is if you've got 70% possession and 3 centre-backs, you're giving a little bit of the game away. There's an argument though to be said, you're actually leaving a little bit more space in the middle of the pitch. But I don't know, I just feel you get more benefit. Because against Everton for a good while, we just played 2 at the back, didn't we? And Diaz was left back, for instance. I just think, listen, it's not to say that Forest will be a walkover, but you'd expect to have a hell of a lot more of the ball than you'd have in a normal game. And I just think having 3 centre-backs in that situation might just leave us a little bit short on ideas. Because we all know the game's going to go. They'll sit in, we'll have to try and pass it across them to get them shifted across the pitch, to pick a gap and get it in. And we all just hope that happens first 15 minutes and then they've got to try and come out on us. But if it doesn't and you've got 3 centre-halves on the pitch, you're not going to look one after half an hour, are you, if it's not working? So you're quickly running the clock down. So I think I'd probably go with Tsimikas. I wouldn't mind if Chambers was on there. In the middle of the pitch, anyone who's not playing Gravenberch at the moment, I think you're mad. And then, I know Endo played well yesterday, but do we need a number 6 against them, really? McAllister's probably going, yes we do, because it's not me.
I just wonder if it's Creed and Wood. They've got a big man again, play the ball into him. Do you want a screen in front of him? Someone who'll win headers in front of him. They had the throws last year against us.
I just think, is Chris Wood better than Calvert-Lewin? And we managed them all right, didn't we? So I'm not overly worried about him. I know you're a big fan of Chris Wood. You always have been since his Burnley days, haven't you? But I think we'll be all right with a Tsimikas, with a Gravenberch, and you're just saying then, all right, McAllister, I'm sorry, but you're doing the same job again. And then up front, I think I probably would go with the big fella, just because he just seems to be on the verge, he's just really cutting loose. And a home game against Nottingham Forest should present a few chances for him, so if you go with that. And the other thing is, it doesn't really matter who you start anymore, because you've got 5 subs and every game's 100 minutes long. It's just like, it's totally different to the football that we've all been used to.
It's not an ego thing anymore, is it? You're all going to play.
Yeah, and I think, listen, I think there's still, when the team goes up, I think the ones who aren't on the first 11 still get that, but it's probably not to the same extent that it used to, because they're thinking, well, I'll still get 50 minutes here if I come on after like an hour, which has been the general practice, hasn't it? 3 subs on the hour, maybe 1 at half time if we need it. So I think you just look at it and go, it doesn't really matter who you start. It's basically about maybe you start a little bit weaker, tire them out, and then you bring Elliott and Nunez on, and then you're like, deal with that, Forest.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think he's going to do? What would you do?
I would play the Greek scouser at left back for balance on the team. I think when you've got such a legend at the club of Andy Robertson, it's very difficult to have an understudy who then needs to get any rhythm.
I agree with that. Sometimes I feel like I'm a bit hard-assed the way I'm talking about.
No, but you know, we love Liverpool to go to the highest level and that. So I think the lad needs a run of games, and someone's going to have a run of games.
Yeah.
So I think he's the most qualified, natural left back for balance. Again, against Forest, I expect us to have a lot of the ball. I know what you're saying about the big fella. I think that could then lead into the fact that Gravenberch should be on the pitch, not just because he's marvellous and he totally deserves to be playing, and we should be concentrating on what we can inflict on Forest. So I think he should play there. I think Jürgen will do both of those things. And then up front, you know, I find it difficult sometimes to guess what Jürgen's going to do with the options because he's got so many of them. And in particular up front, you might be a bit crestfallen that you're not in the starting 11. But if you come on a sub in the top third of the pitch, you're more likely to get the glory.
Yeah.
And then everyone's
up as well this season, don't they?
and that's working, and everyone knows that it's working. So Harvey's a great shout for it, having a wonderful season up to now. But I think he's our best sub up to now this year. Why change that at the moment? It's working. He feels valued, he feels involved, he's progressing, he's getting 90 minutes here. This is working.
And he's on the pitch when the final whistle goes and Liverpool have won.
And that is a massive thing, that when you're trying to keep everybody happy. If you say I've got 14 lads I'm asked about and the rest of them are not, then that's a different question. But Jürgen is the best placed person to keep everybody happy, genuinely, and that's the testimony of the lads who leave the club and say I hardly got a kick, but you know what, I really felt he was involved, and so I think that. So going back to it, for balance, like you say there, I mean, so if Forrest sit back and it works, Gomez isn't going outside on the left hand side and giving the options to Diaz and then flinking it in or whatever. That's not happening. But the Greek can do it. He can. Gravenberch should be playing because he's marvellous. So that's the end of that one. And then up front,
that was an easy one, wasn't
it? Yeah. And then up front, I really don't mind the options, but I do. And I've seen this logic before, and I've been proven wrong. Where he was so fantastic last time, you've got to throw Nunez in there and say, go and get us a hat-trick, mate. Go and get them stats up. Go and do it. And I think he will. I think he'll start him, and I think Nunez will be the beneficiary of it. I think he'll get a couple of goals. I think that's what we should do, and I think it's what we will do. With all due respect to Forest, we're better on them. We're going to go and prove it.
We're going to win the game?
Yeah.
We're going to win the game?
Pardon?
We're going to win the game?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We're going to win the game?
100%.
Marvellous stuff, marvellous stuff. Thank you very much to Erdinger, to Albert Schloss, Kev, Cam, Damian, Abby, Neil, Jordan and Henry behind the camera. No scrubs.